Travelling down to Oxford to see the Burne-Jones paintings of Sleeping Beauty up close and personal at Buscot Park, my mind automatically drifted back to adolescence. How I adored these old romantics and their religion of beauty. Later, at 18, living alone in London, I spent many a Saturday afternoon sitting in the Tate Gallery, transported by William Waterhouse's Lady of Shallot, floating down the river to Camelot, and seeing her, even then, not so much as a tragic victim of unrequited love, but more as a symbol of beauty itself, doomed within a world gone mad with rationality, utterly divorced from soul. And so it is with the young beauty who sleeps for 100 years, hidden from view behind an impenetrable hedge of thorn. Speaking with Anne Baring recently about her new book, Divine Wisdom and the Holy Spirit, The Forgotten Feminine Face of God, we shared our mutual love of the fairy tale. When the spell is broken, all the thorns turn to roses, she said. A pathway then opens, and the prince discovers the beautiful princess that time forgot. The theme of the rose, quintessential to Burne-Jones's illumination of the tale, is itself an abiding symbol of the divine feminine in Western culture. Its cyclical falling asleep as the nights draw in, and waking with the spring, with the return of the light. Its sharp thorns capable of drawing blood from would-be impostors. Only those who wait, who approach at the right time, stand any chance of getting through. Others, as Jones so graphically shows, are laid low and stopped in their tracks, like the Grail Knights who set forth into the forest without humility. When at last the true prince arrives, a personification of this more conscious part of the self may be, he finds the entire court asleep. The king, whose refusal of the 13th fairy set the whole drama in motion, slumbers in his throne, oblivious to all. Anne Baring, in her ponderings on the matter, suggests that he and his court represent the present state of our world, asleep to the facts of what we have created, a world desperately in need of a new consciousness, of everything the 13th fairy might have been able to share. In my own book, The Dark Moon, I suggest the image of the sleeping princess at the heart of the matter can be understood as a symbol of the wounded soul, cut off from others as well as herself. Like all our cherished fairy tales, it sheds light in numerous directions. It is by grace that the prince finally arrives, by magic too, courtesy of the 12th fairy at the princess's christening party, who softens the spell and prompts the prince to ask the question that P.L. Travers, in her beautiful book, All About the Sleeping Beauty, implores us all to ask of ourselves. What is it in us that at a certain moment suddenly falls asleep? Who lies hidden deep within us? And who will come at last to wake us? What aspect of ourselves? To answer, even if we could, she concludes, would be breaking the law of fairy tale, and perhaps no answer is necessary. It is enough that we ponder upon and love the story and ask ourselves the question. I have written elsewhere at length about dear Burne-Jones, oftentimes quoting his words about angels. The more mechanistic science becomes, he declared, the more angels shall I paint. Their wings are my protest in favour of the immortality of the soul. Midst rapid industrialisation, without reference to beauty and the life of the soul, he and his small band of friends sought to warn of the dangers of such deep forgetting and to point our way back home. It is a message needed now as much as it was then. Those who avail themselves of the printed complimentary guide material at Buscot Park will discover that before being installed in the main salon there, the paintings were exhibited at Agnew's Gallery in Bond Street and later in Liverpool and at Toynbee Hall in the East End, where they were taken direct into the hearts of thousands of poor workers there who flocked to see them. When finally brought to Buscot Park, having been purchased by the First Lord Farringdon, Burne-Jones himself came across to see them, while staying with his friend and colleague William Morris, who lived across the fields at Kelmscott Hall. The story tells that he was disappointed. The installation was not quite right. He went on to create 7 new panels, depicting scenes of the sleeping palace, and an ornate wood and gilt frame enclosing the entire composition. Seeing the finished cycle so close, the 4 paintings, each 50 by 100 inches, together with the newer panels, with their twisted tendrils of briar weaving their way throughout, was quite breathtaking. Beneath each of the 4 major paintings, etched upon a band of gold, was the story, distilled into a few simple verses created by William Morris. Under the final painting of Beauty, still sleeping in the rose bower, the words read, "Here lies the hoarded love, the key to all the treasures that shall be. Come, fated hand, the gift to take, and smite this sleeping world awake."